know what it is. 237, no place like home. Catch me on the stoop.
Check us out. No place like home.
Pull up.
Huh? Today,
you already know what it is.
You know the mantra, catch us on the stoop, but today we got Melly from Brooklyn Residency.
Oh,
Brooklyn Residency.
Say it with your chest though. Brooklyn Residency
Brooklyn
out here. Tell them what it is though.
Brooklyn Residency is in the building.
What
is Brooklyn Residency?
So,
let's say that. Brooklyn Residency is actually something that I came up with like in the middle of the pandemic. I always had aspirations of opening a bar, but then when the pandemic came, I just tweaked it a little bit. So people, when they see Brooklyn Residency, they think it's like a real estate thing. And I'd be like, no. So the residency part of it is that because I bring in other entrepreneurs actually to get their shit off. So if you're a chef, if you invented something, you want to do a pop-up. So there's a / if you do a cafe in the morning, and then it's whatever you do in the evening is on you, and that's the residency part of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you actually doing something for the community?
I'm doing something for the community. That's why I'm on the stoop.
Exactly. That's exactly why you want the stoop. Because you're doing something for the community. And I don't care what you heard out there. That's what the stoop about.
Yes.
Highlighting the people in our community, these black-owned businesses that's out here doing some dope stuff. That's what the stoop about.
That's what we about. Yeah.
So let me ask you. So you say you can come in the daytime, you can do this, that, and the third, and the night is on you. But how long can I occupy your spot?
So the restaurant got a hard stop at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you there after 6, you know why you there. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you can have it 6 to 12, and that's every day. You know what I mean? So I got like 4 running residencies. I got a business res we run out of there, teaching people how to form LLCs and real estate investments. We have guest speakers, and it's all free. And that's the thing about it. That people don't understand that these services are free. And I invented this because I'm always gonna get mine. I tell people that all the time, right? So I'm trying to help people, get to certain things because I was, fortunate enough to be able to get these little pockets where I was able to learn things. So now, going through my struggle, I'm like, if I had this knowledge, or if I knew you did it this way, I would do things different. You just become more productive, you know what I mean? When you have the knowledge. You know what I mean?
So with all that being said, where is it?
So we have 346 Malcolm X, right? So we're on Malcolm X between Bainbridge and Chauncey.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Malcolm X between Bainbridge and Chauncey, and it's crazy because when I first got there and I had my real estate agent, shout out to Sticks, it was a struggle because I'm from Gates and Marcus Garvey, right? Originally Quincy until they closed us over. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Right? So
I got some Quincy niggas.
I got some
Quincy fellas.
Quincy.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm originally Quincy Street. You know what I mean? I'm from Quincy between Marcus Garvey and Troop. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I was like, let me get something in the neighborhood that, just to try to push the culture forward a little bit. So I had this real estate agent. He didn't really understand my plight. I was telling him what I was doing. He was like, yo, man, I don't understand that. That ain't gonna work. So in my head, I just be doing research. So I'm like, let me go look at the research. The company, I'm looking, scrolling. I think another real estate agent. There's one black dude there, and I just happen to know him. So instead of me hitting him directly, I called the company. I'm like, yo, is this dude available? She's like, yeah, I need this. So I switched him, and then he understood what I was trying to do. And he pushed for me, and he pushed me, and he pushed me. So that's how I ended up with 346 Malcolm X. And even when I got the spot, I remember one of the sergeants from the 81st Precinct, when I was in there working on it, he was like, yo, you really want to be here? And I was like, what that mean? He's like, yo, I'm like, I'm from here.
Listen,
I'm from here.
Well, the crazy thing about this is, I'm gonna tell you a story. Back in the days, it was a Chinese restaurant.
Yes, it was a Chinese restaurant.
So my brother and my cousins, they got into a situation out of that Chinese restaurant. I was fortunate enough.
It is.
Yeah, look.
I was fortunate enough. Later on in life.
What's going on? How did the Chinese restaurant though?
It was a Chinese restaurant.
4 wings, but what's the?
4 wings.
In and out.
But so my brother and my cousins had a situation there. Fast forward a few years later, I was able to buy the building.
Yeah.
So we bought the building. We end up selling it
to the older lady.
No.
And the guy.
Tell them what you wanted to do though.
Well, when we bought it, I was going to do a coffee shop because they say coffee is the black cocaine.
Yes.
So we was going to do a coffee shop prior to anybody being over there. You know what I'm saying? Before Juices for Life was over there.
Before the coffee
so
shop now.
We actually bought the building. I had started doing the work. My partners they didn't foresee doing a coffee shop. So we actually sold it, which is how the trade union got at the bottom. Because when we sold it to the new owners, they brought in the trade union.
Yes.
and the trade union with OE, IO, and then IO, you got a relationship with IO.
Yeah. I met him on the way out.
Yeah.
Because then somebody else bought the building, and then he left. And then it's funny, my first picture on my Instagram, the side has the trade union on it.
Yes.
So alright, so it makes sense. But yeah, see, that's crazy. You see, I didn't even know that. You see how small the universe works? And then this is why I think you got to be put in certain positions. That's why we're doing this. This is why we do that over there. Because you never know, how these things go. Because now, it's funny you saying the coffee shop, because I can tell you right now, in a 10-block radius from my restaurant, that coffee shop next door to me,
it would have shook.
Is it.
Hey, look, so listen.
No, he talking about where's that? There's another one there.
No, it's
that
was the hair salon.
That was the hair salon.
So look how crazy it is. He didn't even know, and mind you, he knows of the situation that went on with my brother better than a lot of people. He didn't even know that was the same Chinese restaurant.
He didn't even know.
That's how things come full circle.
So my cousin was there, and I was getting. He was like, "Yo, that's the Chinese restaurant." I'm like, "I ain't never seen no Chinese restaurant here." People like, Daddy Green's is down the block. The hair salon, so people, and that block of Malcolm X and Bainbridge is really a famous block. It's like 3 storefronts on it. And the church been closed forever. But going back to like I said, the priest was like, "Yo, you want to open that here?" I'm like, "Yo, this is it," and I seen it. I used to come out there and chill. And I used to see people walking back. That train station is like the walk.
Why did the precinct? What was the concerns with the precinct? So you said something. You said the captain.
No. He was like, He was like, you sure in this neighborhood?
In this neighborhood.
Yes, but that block, that block in
Take it
particular, right?
And
so I opened up in the middle of a war. That's Bainbridge block between Chauncey and Bainbridge, which is whatever. That's not my business. Speak on it, but he's saying. Red zone right now. I remember they had when they used to put the thing on the block, cop thing, all that, tower and all that. And at the end of the day, he was like, "Yo, I really wouldn't." I'm from here, and it don't get no worse than my block. Tell people that shit all the time. Even when the neighbors come, they be like, "Yo, you sure you want to open up here? This shit is this. I like this. I'm comfortable over here."
All right, so look, being that you're from Bed-Stuy, why was it so important for you to open up a joint in your community?
So it was very important for me because I knew that. Like coming from here, right? It's one of those things like a rose growing from concrete. I went to 25.
No doubt.
I went to 324. And then I tried to go to Boys and Girls, and my mom was like, "Nah, you going?" So I went to Westinghouse, which was worse.
Well, now chill. Watch your mouth. Hold on.
Then Boys and Girls. Westinghouse was worse than Boys and Girls.
We got 2 up from Westinghouse.
I know. Remember, I got in. You was going out.
Some from Westinghouse.
We here. We good, but you see. Shout out to
yo, shout out to Warriors, baby.
Houses in the building. Houses in the house. What's Westinghouse was a different animal because it was all boys.
Shout out to
was
boys
a boys'
and girls.
school with a little bit of girls, and then it was all gang members. So my mother's like, nah, she thinking because it say vocational and technical high school that she was doing me a favor. So it was where my brother was at in Boys and Girls. She sends me to Westinghouse, and there's all these gang members, and they was getting left back like crazy in in Westinghouse. You know that. So these motherfuckers is 22, 23. We all 14. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I should have with the Boys and Girls. So, and then, but it's weird though because when we got in there, they changed the principal and they actually changed the culture at school. So they actually taught us something. So I'm a licensed electrician because of that school. You know what I mean? So it actually worked. But like I said, when I was going through the process of trying to build the restaurant, I was just facing a lot of hurdles and stuff like that and things that I didn't know. So I just wanted to establish something that, the community could come and be like, let me get some information. It's when I opened and I was doing like the schematics and stuff like that, and I was going over with, and I tried to build like the exhaust on the outside, and then the lady was like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't just do that because you want a landmark block. I'm like, fuck you mean I'm on a landmark block? She's like, yeah, you don't know what a landmark block is? I said, I know what it is, but how do you know what the landmark block is? She's like, the brown signs. I said, excuse me?
Okay.
All my life growing up in here, I didn't know that the green and the brown signs was the difference of the landmarks.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, 50% of people don't know that.
Yeah.
I just learned that
just now.
People don't know. You just learned that just now.
I was 10 years old.
I knew it.
I was 10 years old when I just learned that. I didn't know that.
Yes. So now let me tell you. So now you see all these brown signs down in all these blocks. These are landmark blocks, and a lot of black people do not know that. And you know what that means? That you cannot touch that facade
outside,
front and back.
Yes.
Okay.
Without asking the city.
Yes.
And if they say no, it's no.
Yeah, you need permission.
So I'm here. I'm in the trade union. They had exhaust there already, so I'm good. Dude was like, "Nah, you gotta take that down." I'm like, "That's no good. It's out of spec." So I'm like, "All right, rip it down." I go to throw mine up. They're like, "Oh, Nah, you can't just do that. You gotta submit plans and talk to us. So now I'm on free time. So I'm on free time in the restaurant, and I'm using my own money, right?
Okay.
So now my money so I got 5 months free time. It took the landmarks department 5 months to tell me I could do anything. So they ate of my free time. So now I'm down 20,000.
Yeah.
But if I knew that the landmark sign was the brown, I would be able to negotiate that with the landlord in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the knowledge that I didn't have, so I tell people information is more important than money, because I could have saved myself $20,000 just by knowing. So this is how we really push the concept kitchen of the residency, trying to teach people how to do business. Because we talk about business all the time, but we're not really getting into the nitty gritty. So when people come in and they sit down, and I tell a story, they be like, yo, all my life I never knew that. And you cannot do nothing to that building without telling them. It's different than the regular city. It's a whole different department. Probably like one person answering the phone and emails, just shucking you around the whole time. So after I got that, I was like, all right, this shit can't happen again. So when people come to me, my friends come like, yo, I want to, I'll be like, yo, listen, stay away from them brown blocks, bro, before you do anything. You know what I mean? I don't have a partner, so I'm by myself. So I'm learning as I go. But the thing is, as I'm learning, I'm teaching too. So, you know, you could have something that I need and I could give you something. It's like the barter system, you know? So I think a lot of us black people don't really do that. You know what I mean? We don't really help each other in that aspect without thinking somebody gonna get ahead.
Well, with that being said, with all the things you're trying to do, you got a nonprofit.
I got a nonprofit too.
Your part, or is it your nonprofit? A Few Good Men?
I'm a founder of A Few Good Men.
Okay, and what's that about then?
So a few good men, a few great men now, because A Few Good Men was taken. Another thing about not knowing, you know, your stuff, we had to change our name in the middle of us doing all the work. You know what I mean? Because you know it's all this stuff. You gotta know these things. You know what I mean? So we didn't do our due diligence with that, but we ended up changing it up. You know, Teak helps us a lot. You know, we've been doing like
shout out to T with T.
T with T. We went on T with T for the Few Great Men. She was the first one to book us on her show. So shout out to Teak. But A Few Great Men, we do a lot of community work. So we try to target like brothers from like the age of 14 and 25. We deal with the elderly and the disadvantaged, but for the most part, trying to show people that you can make it out of certain situations. You know what I mean? So I realized that a lot of the young kids that's younger than me, they grew up with me because they seen me standing on that corner on Quincy. So now where I am now, I work for transit and I got this going on. So it's like, yo, he looks like me and I'm tangible. You know what I mean? It ain't no TV shit or nothing like that. It's like, yo, I can do that. And the one thing I credit my block for is Quincy and Gates and Marcus Garvey, because we were such a tight-knit group. They never judged you for what you wanted to do, right? So if I stop saying, I don't want to hang out no more, I'm gonna go to college. They're like, oh, you want to go to college? All right. They ain't looking at you crazy. They ain't judging you. I remember my homeboys still being outside. I was going to school 4 o'clock in the morning. When I stopped hanging out, they would walk me to the train station and then walk back. My homeboy Owen Reddy would really walk me to the train station and walk back. So I was able to really focus instead of them trying to like drag me down
back into the street.
And that's why I said, you know what? Even I teach my sons that I got boys, they're all Tauruses, and I tell them, you could be cool and you can still get shit done. You ain't gotta be a knucklehead. You ain't gotta be a knucklehead. And I think that's what our kids is learning today. They want to be out here doing all this gun toting and all this stuff, not thinking that's the cool thing. Not a cool thing.
It's being yourself.
It's being yourself.
It's being yourself.
And if you could be yourself, you could get anything. You know what I mean? But then you gotta have that acceptance too. But you gotta have the right crowd around. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I credit them, because I was coming up in that. I'm like, yo, you know what? This look like a dead end. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't really. I want to do something else. Let me go over here. I learn a trade. I learn how to do AC. Electrical. So I was just trying to figure myself out. But at the same time, I still was on the block. I still was hustling. And I was going to school. I'm like, yo, this shit's great. You know what I'm saying? This is great. They didn't know if I was coming or going. To this day, my mother didn't know what I was doing because I was working for Macy's and Calvin Klein. But I would come back and hit the block like later on in the day until you figure out, like, you know what? That ain't it.
Ain't going nowhere. Let me go a different way.
Let me go a different way.
You
know what I mean?
See a couple of the homies, you see a lot of motherfuckers go down.
Yo, you see motherfuckers go down and shit like that. I remember, some guys on my block, they was in the raid. I was coming from work. So I hit the block, I'm going to the trap house, and I'm walking up, and I'm like, oh, gotta go this way. But I just missed it. And my man G the Bob, he'll tell you.
You working. Your job said having
you know G the Barber from right here in the barbershop with Rick shit. He was in there and he was like, yo, Mel, you just missed it. I'm like, yeah, because I was at work. It's the blessing. And then that's how your life changes.
Ass up.
That's how your life changes. Your life changes in an instant like that. So I come home from work 8 o'clock, they pulling them out the trap house. I'm like, oh, I gotta go back this way.
Yeah.
But I was at work, you know what I mean? So those are the things that, like, the few great men, we try to target kids that look up to us, or anybody that's underprivileged that think they can't do certain things, you know what I mean? So we give away food, you know, we give away clothes, we raise money, you know what I mean? We do a back to school for the kids. Shout out to my partner Rod, Bobby, my chef, my DJ. We all still doing like the same thing, but it's the evolution of it is, you know, is different. So like now it's like, when I look for a brick and mortar, even for the nonprofit, you know, you're tax exempt and stuff like that. So I even can find a way to run my nonprofit through my restaurant.
Yeah.
How big you want the restaurant to be? Where you see it going in the future?
So, you know, I see the restaurant going really far because the concept is just not based on food. So we got a great, you know, people love our food. You know, they talk about it all the time. And then they didn't understand in the beginning. They would come at like 7 o'clock. Oh, you closed. I'm getting all these death threats and all that. Like, yo, I came from Maryland, bro. Like, and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta understand, like, it's a bigger picture I'm trying to get to.
So if I come there at 7 o'clock, I can't get nothing to eat.
If you come at 7 o'clock, you better be coming to do something else.
6 o'clock is
you better be coming to run your show.
6 o'clock.
So
hard
6 o'clock is a hard stop at 6.
Hard stop. We doing something else. You come there, we might be doing cake decorating that motherfucker. Ain't no grits. Ain't no grits at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
It's over. It's a full breakfast bar. And I got that concept came from, like, I went to Atlanta one time. We was in a spot called the Broken Egg. And it was like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the lady was sweeping. Like, man, we still eat. She like, I got to go, bro. We closing. I'm like, y'all closing. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. There's money in there. I tell you, I sell pancakes. I don't gotta worry about competing with the Peaches of the world and all this. I'm in my own lane.
Everything else.
I'm in my own lane. And I've always been in my own lane. So it's like guaranteed money. So if I close it Thursday at 6 and then you rent it out from 6 to 12, I don't know who you bringing in. I really don't care.
You don't care. Yeah, you don't care.
It's all private. So it's like, it's just bringing dual income in there instead of me trying to beat the restaurant to death. It's simple. It's breakfast. It's pancakes. It's eggs. It's grits. It's bacon. And then we in there, and then we out of there, and then we bring something else.
So I know you're doing brunch.
I'm doing brunch. I'm doing brunch. Sometimes I run caterings in the morning. We open at 10. I'm doing a cater from 7 to 10, and then that stops, and then we open the restaurant from 10 to 6, and then that stops, and then I bring in a karaoke team from 6 to 12. I'm bringing in 3 forms of income in that shit in one day. Instead of me trying to get on Instagram and say, hey, come to our restaurant, we got pepper steak tonight. I'm not doing that. It's too much. It's too much. And you know, I'm not a chef. So I rely heavy on the team.
The way I said this, I don't understand how homie ain't understanding this concept. Right there, the way he kicked it.
Why you said
I soaked that whole
you're talking about the real estate agent.
Anybody.
That's because
I wasn't able to explain it that good before I started it. See, remember, it was all on paper.
Maybe
first.
it was your comfortability.
It was,
but
you know what though?
But
I didn't know.
And I got that shit like this.
Sometimes it ain't always what you say. It might be the person that's listening.
It might be who you
know what I'm saying?
To. Yeah.
They might not. You know what I'm saying? Because these people don't foresee certain things.
They don't foresee certain things. And then I probably was a little timid in explaining it too, because it sounds crazy, right? But they're like, yo, you got the wave, man. Everybody know you. You can run it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I don't want to, right? Because I know that, you know, like in business, sometimes we get a little greedy. I'm in it for the long haul, right? And then that's the reason why I don't have a partner. Because when I was looking for partners, I was trying to explain it, and they was just like, yeah, I'm going to people that actually own businesses. Okay. So they're like, yeah, but why, if you right there, why don't you just, and I'm just sitting here, and now, some of these people from these restaurants, they come to my spot, they be like, yo, you kicking our ass in the morning. Goddamn right. Because all I'm focusing on is this.
And then I'm being good at this one thing.
I'm being good at this one thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll expand. Because remember, I'm still in the learning stage.
Yo,
I'm in the learning stage. So I don't really know the ins and outs. I had to learn all this. So in order for you to be a great teacher, you got to learn too, right? And then I think that's important. Even with with black people, because sometimes people come and they think they're giving you constructive criticism, right? But a lot of the criticism don't be constructive. It's just you and your opinion. I have a lady, she came in the restaurant the other day. It was a couple of ladies, they was older, you know, whatever. I'm all for the constructive criticism. She's like, hey, one thing, I gotta give you some feedback. Now this is crazy, right? So give you some feedback. So I'm all for feedback. Everybody loves feedback, but a lot of people don't understand. Like sometimes your feedback is personal to you, so you're like projecting it. So the two ladies, she's like, yeah, I think everything was great, but I just need a little extra more gravy, you know, on the grits and all that. I'm like, yeah, but you could have asked for that.
Yes.
So then the other lady with her said, yo, it was perfect to me. I said, you see? That situation, matter of opinion. So you just kind of wasted my time with your constructive criticism.
You wanted to be cute.
And that's what I'm saying. But I feel.
That's
what I do. I say I'm a gravy person. When I walk in the spot, I just tell Gravy, please give it to me. You gotta ask for that though. That's not constructive criticism. That's opinionative. So now you're giving your opinion, but if I don't want it, right? Now I'm looked at as the villain because you basically wasted my time with this when you could have just said, yo, let me get some extra gravy. Next time when you come,
after that, he was rude. I was at this establishment.
So every day we're faced with different scrutiny, and I feel like as a people, when we walk in a black establishment, we like, yo, let me criticize it. You know what I mean? Because I'm just waiting for it to be bad. But when the white people don't do that to each other. They go in, if they have a bad day, they don't come back. They don't gotta pull you to the side. They don't gotta go on Google and destroy you. We already fighting against each other, and then they're fighting against us too. So that's why I think we're losing the war, because that constructive criticism is solely sometimes, because it's good. I love feedback. People, I changed some things in there from that people told me, and it worked in my favor.
Yeah, but that was somebody that gave you actual.
And that's why I think that if anybody sees this, I hope they understand what I'm saying about constructive criticism. It gotta be constructive. It can't be some shit that you woke up and that's how you feel. I like black. So when you come in and say, yo, this black, you should put this over here. That's for you.
Yeah, that's for you.
That's not for me. So now when we making this guy walk by and say, yo, you gotta try my grandmother grits recipe. I'm like, yeah, he said it's fire. I said, you ever had mine? He said, nah. I'm like, how does that help me? How does that help me? How does that? He never purchased nothing for me to tell me I should put his grandmother grits in here. It doesn't help me. So like I said, as a people, I feel like we're always faced with scrutiny no matter what we do. No matter what it is, when you're trying to build something to bring people together, our people, we gotta be more supportive. You know what I mean? But there's black people that support. These people, there's like black apps. There's an app that's like black restaurants. There's an app that got there's apps for everything that people actually come and they say, oh, I seen you on the black app, and I'm like, oh, word, I'm on the black. It's called black. It was like black places to something. I was like, yo, black is fire.
Nah, that's what's up.
I didn't even know I was on black because that's how some people really want to see you win.
Yeah.
But as me, I gotta have that discretion. Like, all right, I straight face. Yes, because I've always been coming up from behind, right? So when people come to me, I'm okay with it because I built this, you know what I mean? So I'm always gonna be comfortable in my skin. I don't get rattled, I don't get angry. You ain't gonna see me flipping out, throwing nothing. It's just like, yo, all right, cool, because I know that it's temporary. So I've been a supervisor for MTA for like 16 years.
Oh.
So they made me a supervisor when I was 19. Oh. So I've been dealing with people older than me. I got that. So I have that, right? So
which is important.
Exactly.
So, with people.
And that's why when I was open, I'm like, damn, I'm not a chef, but I know how to get people to do shit.
So speaking of that, how hard is it to find the right chef? We know a couple of people that have, like a restaurant situation. How hard is it to find the right chef, to get that right recipe,
how you know
that right menu,
that right, to put that together, right?
Yeah, to put that together.
It's crazy. Shout out to my chefs because I got two main ones. This is a guy and a girl. It's Ratisha and Bobby. Bobby's in my nonprofit. Ratisha is a friend of mine. She actually lives around the corner on Bainbridge, which is clutch because she's right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
So, when I was doing it, Kawana from Sweet Brooklyn, she told me, Melly, you think that the restaurant operations is the hard part? It's the people management. I'm like, I'm managing people all the time. I got 10,000 employees under me over here. It's like, all right. I had 4, and it was chaos. I'm like, God damn it! You wake up every day with a different person. You're like, oh man, you was chilling yesterday. So I say that to say this. It's like Bobby's a friend of mine. So every time we did our events, he would be the cook, right? So now we brung in Ratisha when it was got busier, and then we had a shrimp and grits recipe, and it was it was good. We always had the recipe, but then she came in and she put the twist on it. And so now between her and him, this little fusion that we got is what propelled the business. So now it's like just the people management of it, just having the right chefs, and these are my friends. Now you say you can't really mix friends and business, right? But when you're working towards something and you're very transparent, it's not hard to work with me because I let them do them. You know what I mean? They're cooks. I'm not a cook. I know how to manage people, so that's my thing. I manage people. I'm a people manager. So now, whatever you want, you come to me. We can talk about it. I give people their freedom. I'm not, looking over your shoulder and stuff like that. So I've had the same staff since I opened. For a year and a half.
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how's the turnover?
So
you
turnover.
You had the same.
So I had the same staff. His daughter actually works for me too. So I always like tell these people, we all got 2 jobs or so in the spot, right? Because I'm trying to show people that you can do, because people are like, oh, I'm working 1 job. Nah, you could go out there and get multiple streams of income. And then as you do it, you get better at it. So now I've been working 2 jobs, 3 years, 4 years, and now when it's time for you to get up and do something else, you're like, oh, I can do this because I've been doing this. You know what I mean? So a lot of the girls that work for me, they're still there. The guys that work for me, they're still there. They're all still there is because, you know, I deal with things a little differently. You know what I mean? And it's more based on like how I want people to deal with me. You know what I mean? I tell people the customers come first. We're not gonna be angry. You know, whatever they want, because it's only a temporary situation. You have a bad customer for what, an hour? And then you go about your business. You ain't taking that shit home with you. And don't bring it in here. You know what I mean? So, you know, the key is I had different bosses, and I know the ones that's cooler is better to work for.
Well, bring that shit in here.
Bring that shit in here. Don't bring that shit in here.
Come in here, baby.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear that. When people talk to, I don't want to hear that.
I got a question for you, bro. I ain't been on that side of town in a while. But you have outside dining?
So we have an outdoor section, but I really made it for like I wanted to accommodate the smokers. So they kind of be in the backyard instead of them congregating in the front, because again, as a black-owned business, you see a bunch of black people congregating outside, it gets a little funky over there. You know what I mean? So I have a backyard you can eat in, but it's really for like, you know.
So you could come.
Because I know the outside dining was about to change.
Yes.
They about to, you got to tear it down.
You can't be in the street no more. Yeah, they're fighting it. You can't be in the street no more. I'm actually in the backyard with it. But I don't think you want to be on Malcolm X and Bainbridge outside.
I don't think you want to be on Malcolm X and Bainbridge outside with that type of
listen, they are on Malcolm X between, what is that?
That's a whole different world. That's Shea Oscar.
But again, as it continues to change, as
it continues to change,
to evolve,
and then it actually comes together, like you said, because they built that whole nice. And shout out to actually Shea Oscar, which is a funny story about that. When I was going through the motions outside of like Kawana and my man from Rustic, it wasn't too many people that could help me because they was doing their own thing. And the first person to help me in my restaurant journey was a white woman.
Get out of here.
And then you know when the black people started helping me? After I started name dropping the white woman, I'm like, oh, yo, Shea Oscar, she's a legend out here, right? They all know her. But she started in DeKalb, now she over there. So when I say, yo, she's helping me, they're like, oh, where is she helping you?
And they started running to the spot.
And they started helping me. How? Why? I ain't questioning it. But at the end of the day, there are people out there like that. So I don't, you know what I mean, just being genuine, because like I said, we always face with scrutiny. They say, oh, young black man, you. But I was in there building that shit myself because I started with all my own money. So now I don't have, so now when I ran out of money, when I'm building it, I'm like, oh shit. So now I'm in there putting floors down myself because I ran out of money. I ran out of money. I designed the whole kitchen myself, and that's on Instagram. I'm showing myself doing it, but I'm reading. You know what I mean?
Your own electrical work?
I did my own electrical work. That's the only thing I ain't paid for. You know what I'm saying? And then when I was doing it, I had an architect, and I'm like, let me look, and I wanted the best of the best architects. He was expensive. He out in Manhattan. I brought him down. He like, yo, you ready for this bill? And then he gave me the bill. I said, yo, listen, brother, how about this? That's how I switch gears fast. You know, you learn that because I guess the best entrepreneurs are like hustlers and people that are a little book smart. You know, like Jay-Z's in the world and stuff like that, right? So I said, listen, I could pay you to just tell me shit, right? How much you gonna charge me for that? He says, he gave me a number. So I went and found some rinky-dink ass run-of-the-mill architect, and I'm like, yo, I got this information, can you come in and help me? He got a license. All I need is a nigga with a license. He got a license, he in there, so I'm telling him shit. He was like, yo, are you an architect?
Yeah, you already.
I said, no, motherfucker, are you an architect? Because you don't know this shit. But the white man knew it. He knew it. So he gave me all the information. I took it to the other guy.
And you just paid him for his knowledge.
And I just paid him for his knowledge, and I just passed it on to the other dude. He was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yo, but that was a jewel right there for motherfuckers. You ain't got that bread.
You ain't got that bread.
My homeboy got the info.
You got the info.
Listen, homeboy,
just consult with somebody.
Consult
with somebody, and you really don't know what you can do until you actually doing it. So I'm in here like, yo, you know, you got to move the sink over a little bit. He like,
yo, but somebody else might have heard that and got discouraged and been like, yo, damn, that's how much it's gonna cost. I don't got this bread.
And that's what I'm saying. And I was figuring it out. I'm like, damn, what can I do? It's all about like you gotta pivot, right? You like pivot. You know, you talking about basketball the other day on here, right? Washed up Sundays. You gotta pivot, right? You gotta pivot. If you not pivoting,
that's how you know he watched.
I'm in the building.
A lot of these dudes are from washed up Sundays.
They washed up Sundays,
Just to let you know.
And you know what? And know what's crazy? So washed up Sundays, a lot of different parks because he sold them the whole. They had a washed up Sundays. So it's a lot of washed up Sundays. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got to be able to pivot in business.
Yeah.
So when one door closes, like I said, with the structure in the building, they closed that door on me. It was so many doors that closed on me that I was able to just move around and maneuver because I'm from the neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, Mel, matter of fact,
Wait. Let them tell you how to find these events, like to help, like these classes and everything.
All right, so yeah, so we just took a break for the summer. We're coming back in September. We got Biz Res was what we call it. Me and my partner D. Shout out to D. She runs this Biz Res out of there, and it's free. You just come in. It might be 1 drink minimum, or you buy some food and you come in. We have guest speakers, and these are people that are really into their crafts. I'm talking about with thousands of followers. They come there, they do it like pro bono because it helps them out. You know what I'm saying?
we got a little something for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know, you from the hood.
From the hood.
You from the hood. So you know, before they started, we from the ghetto. So now they call it the hood. But we had a slogan when we was growing up. You know what I'm saying? We was from Bed-Stuy.
Oh, do or die. That's definitely. Remember, I'm gonna coach you from the boxing ring.
Exactly.
I seen that shit every day.
You know what I'm saying?
I see that every day. Nah, I appreciate this right here. And I seen y'all giving motherfucking shit too. So I was gonna get on there and scrutinize them. I was gonna go cool K. Niggas ain't giving me shit, bro. Yeah. Hey, yo, T, word the mother.
Pay for everything here. No discount. Fuck that.
That's why I took the cookies. Yeah. Word, even though you gave me something. Cause I be giving niggas shit, man. I said, T, man, why the fuck you tell me ain't giving up nothing over here?
But Mel, before you go, tell them where they can find these classes and this help and this information that you provide.
So I got a new website I just did. It's thebrooklynresidency.com. The Biz Res starts back in September. It's the last Wednesday of the month. And then on Instagram we post what it's going to be about. We post the guest speaker, who it is, so you get to filter through and see actually if you want to come. If you ain't a plumber, you ain't coming, you know, there unless they talking about plumbing. You know what I mean? But there's people that actually need this information, and people don't really understand that the information that you could get can really help you. You know what I mean? The little things actually take you a long way, and it's free. It's free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, we want to say thank you, Mel.
yo,
Much success.
Yeah,
and we're coming. We're coming. We're coming.
Appreciate y'all. Come on Sunday. We do Sunday. Our Sunday brunch is crazy. It's, I'm going over there right now. Actually, we got we do parties and birthday celebrations.
Till 6 though. Make sure that.
It's hard stop. It's hard stop. If you there at 6:01, you better be helping me mop.
Yo, catch us on the stoop, baby.
Yeah.
I know place like home.